Good morning, students. I've already sent this page of appraisal and criticism of economic reforms to you. This is from your book Sandeep Garg itself. If you're not having the book, you can follow this. Now, appraisal. Appraisal means we are going to study the economic reforms of 1990-91, and we will see its impact on the Indian economy. So we will evaluate the result of the policy of LPG followed in 1990-91. Now, when you appraise a policy or anything, you see the positive arguments and you see the negative arguments also. So you will be able to see the negative points and as well as the positive points. First of all, we'll study what were the arguments which are in favor of the economic reforms. Increase in economic growth. So the very important point, economic growth, how do we understand there is an increase? By GDP, by looking at the GDP of a country in an year. So GDP improved. GDP was 6%, it become 5%, it was become 6%, 5.6 to 6.1 as given in the book. Now, this increase in GDP, how does this happen? Actually, there was a decline in growth of both the agriculture and the industrial sector. Whatever GDP improved after the economic reforms, it was due to the growth in the tertiary sector, or you can call service sector also. So, this is important to know. The growth in the service sector bring about this change after economic reforms. Next is inflow of foreign investment. It increased because we allowed the foreign investment in the country by the policy of liberalization, globalization, privatization. We allowed foreign investment in the country. So that's why foreign investment, FDI, it increased. Rise in foreign exchange reserve was there because globalization we followed export imports, so it led to increase in the foreign exchange reserves. So that is the point given again, rise in exports. Then control on inflation. We were able to put a control on the rising prices of the commodities. Inflation is the rise in price of the commodities. And private sector role, how it increased? By the policy of privatization. Government gave major role to the private sector and thus their role increased. What were the criticism of the economic reforms? We have gone through the favor arguments in favor. Now we will see arguments against, or also known as criticism. Points against the policy. Unemployment increased. Still now we say that India has lot of unemployed people, lot of poor people in the country. After the following of this policy, we still face the problem of increasing unemployment. Reason being, our agriculture sector was not growing, our industry was not growing, so enough jobs were not being created. Whatever growth was there, it was in the tertiary or the service sector. This is the major reason that unemployment was insufficient. Next is the same point because of which the unemployment increased, neglect of agriculture, and the next point you see, third point, is also low level of industrial growth. Both these sectors, they faced a period of decline after the economic reforms because In the agriculture sector, no investment was made. Actually, after the reforms, no efforts were made to improve the agriculture sector. So, the government was not spending enough money on this area. Also, the removal of subsidy on fertilizers, it also played a major role, because now the farmers who were poor farmers, who were middle class farmers, they were unable to afford the fertilizers. Liberalization and reduction in import duties. Now, when we followed the policy of LPG, and there was WTO, World Trade Organization, we actually reduced any kind of trade barriers. We allowed the imports in the country freely. So now the farmers have to compete with these agriculture products from the international market due to removal of barriers. Also, minimum support price which was given to the farmers, it was removed. So their condition now become worse. They were not at all supported by the government. They have to face a very stiff competition in the market. There were no quantitative restriction, means earlier there was some quantity allowed to be imported in the country for different agriculture products, but now that quantitative restrictions, means the minimum amount is not at all there. Any amount could be imported in the country. So that resulted in the final blow to the agriculture. Indian farmers were impacted very badly due to this policy. Now, shift towards cash crops. Now, farmers, because of the global market, they want to export to other countries their agriculture products, and they shifted to the commercial crops now again from the food grains. This increased the prices of the food grains in the country itself. So this is a decline in the agriculture. Next is level of industrial growth. Industrial growth faced slowdown after the economic reforms, because due to globalization there was so much inflow, so much import of goods, and these goods from the developed countries. Okay, and as a result, the Indian produced goods, they have to face the competition in the domestic market from the foreign imported and finished goods. Indian producers, after independence, they were able to establish themselves till now in 1991, but they were not so much efficient to face the competition from the MNCs, big MNCs. Actually, they were not ready for this kind of competition in the domestic market. So what happened? These products from the global market, from the big MNCs, they replaced the demand for domestic goods, and these local producers, they were not able to compete with them, especially Chinese. They produce goods at a very low price, and it led to decrease in demand of the local produced goods. These are cheap and best, you can say. People used to say these products are cheap and best. What is cheap and best? Their quality is also low, and their price is also low, and they look very attractive. I will give you an example of the Chinese toy. Chinese toys, they are cheap, they are good, you buy them. But what it led to over a period of time, it led to a decline. It led to complete wipeout of the Indian market of Indian produced toys. The wooden toys were there. People did not find them attractive now. So what happened? When the Chinese products were imported in the market, for example in the toys case, Indian producers, their demand for their products declined, and what they will do, they will shut down. So industry suffered from this policy. You can take any example. Our utensils in the kitchen, you find so many plastic made toys, plastic made bowls and plastic made things, plates, everything there. So many Chinese products. We are replacing with the Indian, like we were using the earlier steel utensils, now we replaced it with these. And now what happened? Indian producers, they got destroyed. They have no demand of their product. And what is the option left? They shut down. So next is lack of infrastructure facilities. In India, government was not able to provide investment in the development of infrastructure. Basically, the power supply sometimes inadequate. Sometimes there are power cuts, for example, for the industries. They suffer with these things. The power supply has to be 24/7 for the industry to work. If it is not that, then it is obviously in a way it is being giving a very setback to the industry. They were not able to utilize their potential to the optimum level. Now, non-tariff barriers by developed countries. What India did, India removed all the restrictions. Every kind of product was coming in the Indian market. Every kind of product is being imported in the Indian market. But what happened with the developed countries? They somehow did not remove their own restrictions. They tried to protect their own local manufacturers. How did they do that? They are putting some artificial quantitative restrictions or barriers of certain kind. How? I will tell you. For example, America is protecting its local farmers. How it is doing it? It rejects the imports from Indian market or Indian producers, for example, developing country like India. But it is not allowed. WTO say that you should open your barriers and you should be a freely operating country and you should be a global market. Why it is doing that? Why America is doing that? Because America is protecting the local producers. And how it is able to do it? It rejects Indian products. For example, Indian agriculture products on the pretext of low quality standard. Your product is not up to the mark, I will not import from you. This is the reason they give. Also here example given in case of cotton and textile. This is what happened with the Indian producers basically. So if you see, this policy is in favor of developed countries. They are opening the markets in the developing countries. They are approaching their domestic markets. And what is happening for the developing countries? They are not able to export their products like them in the developed countries because their products are being rejected on the basis of quality or standards. And at times these are the false accusations. The standard may be up to the mark, but they are just in the name, they are saying it is not good quality because they want to protect their local producers. They don't want to import from us. So this is known as the policy which is biased. Next is ineffective disinvestment policy. I explained it yesterday also. In simple words, I will put this policy today. Disinvestment means when the government companies, what they are doing, the part of the government company or the whole is being sold to the private company or private individual. This is known as disinvestment. You can also say the stakes in the public sector enterprise being sold to the private sector enterprise. This is also known as disinvestment. Very simple. अगर आप इसको बोले कि ONGC गवर्नमेंट फॉर एग्जांपल गवर्नमेंट का है, गवर्नमेंट जो है उसे अब सेल कर रहा है एक प्राइवेट को, तो इसको डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट बोलेंगे. चाहे वो उसका 50% शेयर सेल कर रहा है, 80% शेयर सेल कर रहा है, और या तो वो पूरी की पूरी कंपनी अगर किसी इंडिविजुअल को सेल कर रहा है. वी हैव हर्ड द न्यूज़ के गवर्नमेंट इज़ प्लानिंग टू सेल द रेलवेज, है ना. तो सेलिंग मतलब क्या हुआ? टू द प्राइवेट इंडिविजुअल दे आर गोइंग टू डू दैट. एंड व्हाट दे आर डूइंग एक्चुअली इन दिस प्रोसीजर, they are actually doing what? They are transferring the ownership, management and everything at the price, at some set price, to the individual who is a private person. So this is disinvestment actually. And why it was not properly done? After the economic reforms, it was decided that we would follow the policy of liberalization, privatization and globalization, L, P and G. What do you understand by privatization? It means that government is doing what? Government is selling the public enterprise to the public company, to the private individual. So it was not successful because these government companies, they were undervalued. If its price is 1000 crore, it is being sold in 1 crore. This is known as undervalue. Actual value, it is not sold on the actual market value. So this is known as scam. You can hear so many news from the scam. कांग्रेस ने ये स्कैम किया, है ना. आफ्टर द कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट सो मैनी वी यूज टू हेयर अबाउट द स्कैम्स. यही होता है स्कैम. जैसे कोयले की खानों को बेच दिया, ओके, और अंडर वैल्यू करके बेच दिया. उसकी वैल्यू जो थी 1000 करोड़ थी, उसको 1 करोड़ में बेच दिया. सो इसको बोलते हैं अंडर वैल्यू करके बेचना. ये होता है स्कैम. इसको हम स्कैम लैंग्वेज में हम मीडिया पे देखते थे पहले, अभी तो नहीं हम लोग देख पा रहे हैं. इस तरह का कोई न्यूज़ नहीं आता है. सो अर्लियर वी यूज़ टू हेयर सच थिंग्स. और कैसे एक पिक्चर में रॉबर्ट वाड्रा का नेम आता है कि हाँ इनको बेचा गया था, कांग्रेस ने इतनी सारी ज़मीन जो है उसको 1 रुपये में अंडर वैल्यू करके. तो दिस इज़ करप्शन. अपने किसी रिलेटिव्स को बेचते हैं, अपने किसी पॉलिटिक्स में जो इन्वॉल्व हैं वो अपने रिलेटिव्स को या खुद अपने नाम कर लेते हैं एट टाइम्स. सो गवर्नमेंट के एसेट्स को अंडर वैल्यू करके बेचना, दिस इज़ नोन एज करप्शन. सो दिस इज़ नोन एज डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट. And why it was not successful? Because of its failure, reasons were because of the undervalued assets. Such proceeds from disinvestment were used to compensate the shortage of government revenues. Government revenues का मतलब क्या होता है? गवर्नमेंट की इनकम इसको लिया जाता था, and it then using it for the development of PSUs, building social infrastructure of the company. ये इसका रियल यूज़ होना चाहिए था, है ना. जो भी डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट से पैसा आया, गवर्नमेंट शुड बी यूजिंग इट फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ PSUs. PSUs क्या होते हैं? पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स को कहते हैं, पब्लिक एंटरप्राइजेस को कहते हैं. एंड बिल्डिंग द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कंट्री सो दैट द इंडस्ट्री कुड फ्लॉरिश. ये रीजंस हैं, इससे हम इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर को ग्रो कर सकते हैं. बट What was government using it for? Its own revenue, means for its own expenditures, like paying the salaries of employees, like paying the subsidies to the people on HYV, or paying the pensions of the people, paying the old age pension to the people. So these are the government expenses. खर्चे जिसको बोलते हैं. Like if I am an individual, I have money, okay, I got a money from somewhere, and if I am using it for buying groceries, for buying my a new car, for buying AC, for buying any other utility for my use, this is known as my expenditure, personal expenditure. If I am using the money to buy a plot, if I am using the money to buy a flat, I am doing investment. I will earn money from it. It is a productive kind of using the money. Same is with the government. The government get the money, use it for the normal day-to-day expenditures like me. So rather it should use it in some areas where it will be generating more money. It will be investing in areas where it will be productive, like PSUs, putting the money in the industry itself, investing the money in the industry itself, so as to increase the production, increase the revenues of the government. Also government can use it, for example यहाँ पे आपको दिया हुआ है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Government is using the money in the promotion of railways, roads. It will lead to smooth functioning in the country, and the industries will flourish. Government is using the money itself in many other areas, like for the promotion of education, for the promotion of health of the people. These are all the productive expenditures. So government actually did not do it. Government did not use the proceeds from this investment productive way. They used it rather in an unproductive way, which is not recommended. Next is ineffective tax policy. Actually government reduced the tax during the reform period, so that people should not evade the taxes. Evade करना मतलब tax ना देना. To avoid that people should not evade the tax, government reduce the taxes. What actually happened? But government revenues itself decreased due to this tax policy also. How? Because government reduced the tariff barriers drastically. Government used to you could have earned a lot of money through the imports, tariffs on imports, but it was not there because government completely removed the restrictions, led to fall in the government revenue. Also government wanted to attract the foreign investors. In order to attract them, government has given them so many tax incentives, which further deteriorated the government revenues from the taxes. Spread of consumerism. Actually इसके बारे में एक्सप्लेन करने से पहले आई वॉन्ट टू गिव यू अ लिटिल piece of advice on this about this concept. Actually consumerism क्या होता है इंडिया में? इफ़ यू सी पीपल, वी फ्रॉम द अर्लियर टाइम्स, हम लोगों का कैसे आवर एंसेस्टर्स यूज्ड टू डू. वी वर नॉट लाइक स्पेंड थ्रेफ्ट काइंड ऑफ पीपल. स्पेंड थ्रेफ्ट मतलब सब कुछ खर्च करने वाले. वी यूज टू सेव मनी, है ना. हमारी अभी भी टेंडेंसी होती है, तो अभी भी खैर नहीं कह सकते, नॉट all the people we can talk about it, but this was in our olden times ke people used to, ancestors used to spend a part of money and save a part of money. Okay, but not now. Now the things are changing. This kind of global arena, the exposure to so many products in the Indian market, like branded products, any product you want to buy, you can get it in the domestic market from any part of the world. You can get different kinds of gadgets, clothing, accessories, everything in the market, mobile phones of very better quality coming every now and then. So this kind of thing with by LPG, we had a tendency towards consumerism that we are now. We are spending more. We are not at all saving. है ना? We are actually changed people now, you can say. We are using credit cards. We are spending more than even we are earning. Okay? We are buying mobile phones like clothes. Changing mobile phones with new technology coming in, we want to change it. Even in months, we want to change it. So this is known as consumerism, which is a very dangerous trend. How it is dangerous? Because the economy is not at all saving the money. People are not saving the money. People are not putting the money in the banks. अगर बैंक में पैसा नहीं होगा, we are a labor abundant country. यहाँ पे population ज़्यादा है, हम इसको labor abundant country कहते हैं. But we are a capital deficit country. हमारे पास capital मतलब पैसा कम है. We have less money. So हमें saving करना है. We have to save money. We have to put in bank. Bank only then can put the money in the industries. Okay, it can give the loans to the industry sector. They can borrow money from bank. So this chain is there. If we are not at all saving, how our industry will get the money for investment, how the industry will grow. So that's why we say that this kind of behavior in the people that this policy has brought into is very dangerous for the country's economic growth. Last point is unbalanced growth. Growth has been only in the service sector. We have achieved growth. GDP has increased over the years from the 1991 to 2000 or 2003, 4, 5 or now also we are seeing the growth in the service sector only. Rather than the most important sectors in the country like agriculture and industry. These are the sectors on which the major population is dependent. Till now 50% population is engaged in agriculture. Okay, so we need it to grow, then only our people will be uplifted. Why we have poverty? Why we have problems? Because the major sectors are missing. They are not playing their important role they should have been playing. So we require the agriculture sector to grow. Why we need the industry to grow? Because it is the major producer of the employment, major generator of the employment. More employment only will solve our problems. Until and unless the people are sitting at home, we cannot do anything. An economy cannot grow. So, economy to grow, to become better, we need the industrial sector to grow itself. That is not happening actually. We are only looking at growth in the service sector. So, and here in industry we are also talking about the small scale industries, okay, which are the major generators of employment. I hope you understand these points. Thank you, students.